The Bold Inventors are a team of passionate problem solvers who use their creativity and curiosity to solve engineering problems. Fabio Force, Gracie Gravity, Marty Motion, and Freya Friction together use their own unique skills to help people and protect planet Earth. Fabio Force is smart and intelligent. He's gentle when he wants to be, but fierce when needed. So what does his life look like? Well, it's pretty exciting most of the day. He's very good at two things: pushing and pulling. He can make things squeeze and stretch when you play with slime. He helps things slow down or speed up when you're kicking around a soccer ball. You can see him in action at the tennis court as you swing your racket, or in the ocean, helping the waves push a surfer further and faster. He has fun pushing out hot gases that cause volcanoes to erupt. He especially loves helping rocket ships blast off into outer space so they can reach their destination. Our next bold inventor is Marty Motion. He and Force are best friends. Motion is a very active fellow, and it's impossible for him to stay still at one spot. Motion is very good at one thing, moving from one point to another. As he moves, he keeps track of his speed and direction at all times. But here's an important fact: he's totally dependent on Force to move him from place to place. Without Force, there would be no Motion. Recently, Force and Motion decided to build a rocket ship. While Motion was busy doing the countdown, Force was busy sleeping. Needless to say, the rocket ship made a fizzing sound and failed to launch. Sometimes, when things aren't moving, you would think Force is sleeping, but he's actually still working very hard. I wonder why the boulder doesn't move. What force could be opposing its motion? Sometimes there could be an equal force acting in the opposite direction, preventing any motion, just like in a game of tug-of-war. Looks like forces on both sides are balanced. Oh no! Amy just got distracted by a beach toy, and her whole team fell down, therefore causing motion. Force has other friends who are also forces too, but they're invisible. For example, Earth's gravity. Gracie Gravity is invisible to all of us. She's very modest, very humble, but very powerful and very important. She helps us keep our feet on the ground. If it wasn't for her, we would all fly off into space. That's also why you can only jump so high while playing basketball, or can have your paper airplanes come safely back to the ground as you try flying it further and higher. It's very easy to measure the force with which gravity is pulling at you. All you have to do is step on a weighing scale and measure your weight. Your power comes from Earth, which is huge and heavy. The bigger and heavier an object is, the stronger is its pull on other smaller objects like us humans. We humans also pull on the Earth with our own force of gravity, but that's very, very small compared to that of the Earth. Can you imagine how powerful the gravity would be on the planet Jupiter? You would weigh 2.5 times more than you do on Earth. Now here is our final friend, or maybe a foe. Her name is Friction. Motion and Force don't like friction. In fact, they call her their enemy. Friction jumps into action and works against motion when two objects are rubbing against each other, like when you ride your bike on the road. All surfaces have tiny bumps on them, and when two surfaces slide over one another, the bumps push against each other, creating friction. She slows them down and even brings them to a stop. The best way to experience friction is by rubbing your hands together and feeling the heat it creates. Friction can be easily reduced by adding liquids like oil or water to the surface. You may have experienced this when going down a water slide. Friction is the enemy of motion, and yet we cannot imagine our world without friction. Can you imagine if all surfaces around us were extremely smooth, really smooth, with no friction at all? What would happen? You won't be able to walk at all. It would be like walking on ice all the time. That's why we can say friction is also our most important friend. I think perhaps a frenemy would be an appropriate name. Now that you know so much more about the Bold Inventors team, we hope you can join them during their problem-solving adventures as we explore the Bold Inventors studio. See you around!